Alright, take two. Here we go. I just recorded this video 5 minutes ago, and my phone kept falling. I tried to set it up on the wall over there, and it kept falling down the crack, and I got frustrated, so I guess I'm going to try to do this one-handed. So, what you're looking at in front of you is a quadrajet carburetor. And what I'm going to do with it is replace, or show you how to replace, this TPS unit, or TP sensor, depending on who you are. Some people call it a TP sensor now, but the book says TPS unit, so that's what I'm going to call it. Throttle position sensor is what that stands for, by the way. This controls your auto advance timing. On a regular carburetor, it would be your vacuum advance, and it would be controlled by something that isn't this. I'm not exactly sure how vacuum advance works. Luckily, I've never had to fix it. But this controls, it reads what where your throttle position is based on some internal bullshit inside of the carburetor. And it tells the distributor whether to advance or retard the timing based on where the throttle position is. And the problem I'm having is that the car will advance the timing too far no matter what, and it's causing all sorts of other codes like running rich and running too lean and stumbling and all these things because the timing's going too fast because the sensor's screwed up. So this is my old carburetor. I use it for reference. I don't actually use this carburetor because the body's junk. My new carburetor though has a new TP sensor on it, and it's junk. I tested it. The way you test them is you take a voltmeter like this, and you turn it on to the 20K scale right there on the ohm side. And you need to use the leads here. Sorry, this is really hard to do with one hand. It worked better when I did it the first time. And you stick one of them into lead A, and you stick the other one into lead B and C. And basically, once again, this was easier when I had two hands, but basically, if this is 1, that means it's over 20,000. It's too high for the meter to pick up at this scale, so it'll just go out to 1. But if it's less than 1, it'll read as or if it's less than 20,000, it'll read as a number on here. So mine was at 15,000 on one of them, and the other one was at 1. So that means the sensor is bad, which is strange because it's a brand new sensor. And when I tested the bench one here, it was good. So I'm going to take this sensor off of this crappy carburetor and put it on the new crappy carburetor, and hopefully it'll fix the problem because that's what the book tells me to do. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take your carburetor off of your intake manifold. And a lot of people say, oh, you don't have to do it because you're just taking the air horn off. No, you do have to do it because if you drop one of these screws down this, you're going to be screwed. No pun intended. Because that's going to fall right down into your intake manifold and end up in your engine. And if you don't drop one, nobody's perfect. Everyone's going to drop one. And if you don't drop one, you will next time. So just take the carburetor off of the engine. It doesn't actually take that long. I've done it way more times than I ever probably should have. So I know how to do it by heart. But it's just vacuum lines. If you need to, take a picture or a video before you take it off so you know where they all go so you don't end up having a problem later on. But most of them are just vacuum sources, so it really doesn't really matter if you flip them around. This is PCV, and the rest of them are just vacuum sources. So, do what you will with that information. Next thing you do, though, is you take out your choke air inlets. This is what was frustrating me last time because I took this off and the phone fell off the stand for the first time. So you take that off. And then, if it was on the car, you'd have to pull it out of the intake manifold. And I think that's basically it for this. On different carburetors, you might have more or less, depending on what you got. Electric choke, you won't have to do that. Anyway, not talking about that right now. The next thing you want to do is take out all these little screws. It's a T20 Torx bit, and the easiest way to do that is to just use a nut driver like this and just take them all out. I'm not going to film that because I only have one hand and it's going to take forever. But take all the screws out and make sure, so you got 2 in the back, 2 on the sides, one there, one there, one there, and there. And then you also have two down in here. Right there, and right there. If you take all these other ones off and your air horn still isn't coming off, it's because those two down in there are still on. You need to take them off. Okay, now you know what's funny? I just went against my own rule here and forgot that there was two of them right here and here holding this little thing on. So I just tried to take this off without taking those screws out, and it didn't come off, and I was like, what the hell? So there's also two screws here and here. Another thing that you're going to want to do that's going to be helpful is take this vacuum brake off of here, because this vacuum brake is attached to the air horn. This vacuum source is not. So it's just going to yank on it, so might as well just rip it off anyway. So now your air horn is loose and you can take it off. The throttle, this thing right here is still, the throttle lever, sorry for mind blank right there, is still going to be attached to the throttle plate down here. So your air horn isn't going to completely lift off. It's just going to sort of rest there. But I've got it loose like that. And now I'm going to pause the camera yet again so I can disconnect this cable from that so I can actually get this thing off. Alright, back again. So I'll tell you what I had to do because I'm an idiot and I forgot. This little thing right here, this lever, is held on by a little push pin, and you have to pound it out. See, I already pounded it out right there using a hammer and a punch. So once you get that off, that just falls out of the way. Here's your accelerator pump, and then you can take this off. Sort of. It's still going to be hooked onto this stuff down here. But once you have it off, which I will momentarily figure out in just one moment. Alright, now the air horn is off. So there's the air horn. We have yet even more stupid crap because this here choke, that little thing right there with that screw right there, was still holding on, so I just decided to take that off. So this is still linked up to the choke assembly. As you can see, it's still moving that thing over there. But the I took that choke plate thing off. Not that it will matter because I'm not putting this back in the car anyway. But here you have your lean mixture, or lean mixture plunger thing that goes right on top of this, like that, in there. And then you have your accelerator pump right here. GM made these a bitch to replace because Ford, you could do it in 5 minutes without taking the carburetor off. GM, you had to take the carb off, you had to take the air horn off. It was just a nightmare. So do with that information what you will. This here is the TP sensor or TPS unit. And it just comes out, nothing's holding it in. It just slides out just like that and grab onto this and pull it out. There you go. That's your TPS unit. There's a little spring down in there that makes it so this thing will go in and out. Oh shit. Whoops. Thought I dropped it on the floor. This thing right here goes in and out, as well as this one right here. So the spring in the bottom keeps it from bottoming out constantly. So when I rebuilt this, I thought maybe I forgot that spring, and I also tried to put it on the top of this. It doesn't go on the top, it goes on the bottom. It's right there. The other thing about this, when I rebuilt it, that was a real pain in the butt, which is why I kind of don't want to do it when I replace this, is this little lever right here is actually what pushes, it's like a resistor thing. And basically, this does not want to stay up like that, because when the air horn is upside down, you're trying to put it back on the carburetor, it hangs down like that, and it will not go back on without it being down like this. So that was another pain in the butt. Yet another thing that you need to note when you're working on these is that your TPS has a plunger like this, much like the accelerator pump plunger, but it's a little bit smaller and very easy to lose. I actually lost mine when I was working on it in a different shop, and I was very lucky that they hadn't swept the shop yet, because I found it on the floor underneath a different vehicle. So I was very lucky that I found it, but if you lose this, you can't buy a new one. These are discontinued. They don't even like have a part number or anything. They used to come with rebuild kits. They don't anymore. So if you lose it, you might be a bit screwed. But anyway, I'm not doing a video on how to replace it because, like I said, I probably won't replace it myself. But now you know what the inside of one of these carburetors looks like, and now you know what a TP sensor looks like, which is this little guy right here. So what I'm going to do is take this, take it to B&H Auto, which is a very reputable auto shop around here, and have them replace the old one, or the new one I guess, with the old one, which is this one. So thanks for watching. Hopefully I helped you. I know my videos, I like to think my videos are going up in quality, but I think they might be going down in quality if they even ever had quality to begin with, because I'm getting a little bit more scatterbrained the more and more I work on this crap. So hope I helped somebody anyway, and I will see you in the next one.